What's going on, everyone? What's going on? Peace, and blessings to everyone. Y'all see the title. I just want to jump in and speak on it briefly. First and foremost, um, peace and blessings to all uh, who have lost loved ones in this war. With Israel and Hamas, Ukraine and Russia. Um, I don't condone none of the other senseless acts, the war crimes of just going and shooting down, beheading and kidnapping, and all the other atrocities that are being spoken about, that are being done at this present time in Israel, um, between Israel and Hamas. I don't condone any of that. Um, I wish that they all could come to some type of resolution. But I know, me being a man in my late 40s, I know that coming up, you know, uh, I known and heard of these wars between those two uh, for years, with Israel and the Palestine, the Hamas. I've been hearing about that ever since the 80s, and it seems like every so often, um, every so many years, it seems that I would hear about these, about those two countries. Although, well, they don't consider Palestine a country, okay, but I've been hearing about those two going to war like I said, ever since the 80s. I, I, I can't speak on and say what quite the reasons, whatever. I don't know. I have an idea, but it's a touchy subject, and I'm not going to touch on, what I believe it is in this time, because it's a sticky situation. And then you have the Ukraine and Russia, and it's like you know, that's almost, I've spoke on those two countries before, and it just seems like, Russia being the big brother, and it wants to bully around the little brother, you know, and I just don't know what the end game is when it comes to those two, and I don't know what the end game is for either of those countries at war right now. But peace and blessings be with all of them at this time. And I hope, with the aid of the Most High, that at some point that those countries will come to some type of resolution, understanding, for peace with the residents, you know. But I also want to go in to speak on how United States, out of all of the issues that we have as well, we can't become, we have to stop trying to be the savior for all when we have our own issues. And we wonder, well, if we're coming to the aid of everybody else, who's coming to the aid for us? Who's coming to help us in our need? Because we have serious needs as well. And we seem like when it comes to the issues that we have in our country, it seems that we're always finding ourselves wanting to shut down the government. We're short on cash when it comes to our own issues. But it's funny to me how we're not short on cash when we're coming to bail out other countries. I'm I'm confused. And once again, I'm not being insensitive to anything that's going on or any wars that are going on around the country. There are wars been going on in Africa that are not even spoke of, and kids and women are kidnapped and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And those are not getting attention as much as we seeing what is getting attention now. It's like the two main wars on the scale now, on the TV now. And like I said, once again, I'm not being insensitive to any of the issues that's going on, because you never want to hear of innocent people getting killed, civilians getting killed. But I do understand with war there comes casualties. So so that's why it's a sticky situation on both ends. I don't want to tap in and talk too much about either one of those at this time. But what I want to speak on, and my main topic was to speak about, was like, we're bailing out other countries or we're handing out assistance, but who is assisting us when we need? When our government talks about it wants to shut down, or it's going to, they're going bankrupt, whatever terminologies they want to use, who's coming, and why are we not hearing of any other countries coming to our aid? We have a homeless population all around this country. It's bad. We have a housing issue that is going on. Having affordable housing. And when I say affordable housing, I mean affordable housing that's going to match your area's median income levels. Not the the area's median home average home price. You know what I'm saying, at this moment, which is inflated pricing. We talking about real affordable homes for folks. We talking about opioid crisis. Where you could just look around and on social media, of anything, and you can see, or look on YouTube, tap in and look on YouTube in places like Philadelphia, Baltimore, where it's really out of control. And other cities too, just all around the country. We have kids going around ransacking, raiding stores, taking goods. I mean, people are in dire need at this time. Who's coming to the aid for our country? We have folks that have went to college, finished college, or maybe they didn't, but you had this massive debt over your head, all because you were trying to better yourself, better your life, better your situation. Our country can't seem to bail out its own people and helping to further, advance their life and not feel punished by having a debt over your head because you just were trying to get an education and do the right thing, and better yourself and your family situation. Well, our country can't seem to want to bail us out, but we're bailing everybody else out. And that's my issue at this moment. And that's what I'm speaking on at this moment. So we sending all of this aid around, and but immediately, it could be talks or whatever about sending aid to other countries. And we as a country should band together. And then once again, we're going to turn the back on our own issues and front face to someone else's issues. You know, the saying is always we should clean up our own backyard before we talk about someone else's. But we're always standing in the front yard of others and helping and standing and knocking on the front door of others to come help clean up their backyard. But who's standing in our front yard, which is the United States, helping to clean up our backyard, which is the United States backyards issues? Who's coming to help with that aid? Because every time it seems that we need aid and we need help for the things that are going on in our own country, we seem to have a money problem. We start to seem to have all of these issues as, like, you know, it's like the people or the citizens of the United States were treated like we're treated like the help. You know, we're treated like we treated like disrespectful helpers. Like, we're disrespected helpers, I should say. Let me clean that up. We're disrespected helpers. That's how we are treated. You know, when we need, it's always, oh, I don't have it right now. Oh, we don't have it. We don't have the money to give you to advance you. Oh, we don't have the money to bail you out right now. Oh, we gotta raise this right now because we gotta even this out. You know. But everybody should kumbaya when we're front face on a front lawn of another country's issues, helping to clean up their backyard. But our backyard is so fucked up. And we will make every excuse. We'll have folks in the house telling us, like a Mitch McConnell, that $1,200 was too much money to give. In the midst of a pandemic that the American people didn't cause that. That was the breakdown of the government. So, once again, in closing, I just want to say, no, I'm not being insensitive to none of the things that's happening right now with the wars between Israel and Hamas and Ukraine and Russia. I'm not insensitive to none of that, and peace be with all involved. It's a tragedy. You don't want to see the images that you see. But there's wars always going around this world, and we just never know about them. We only know about what our country really wants to tap into and really wants to air and give attention to. And it's just the same right now. It's just the same right now. But we have issues going on in our own backyard. Serious issues. And it needs to be addressed. And we have to stop turning our backs to each other and start we have to really put all the personal feelings and behind us. And once folks get off of this Democratic, Republican, left, right, front, center, whatever, up, down. Once everybody gets off of that side, I understand, listen, and these times we need to be doing, if you have never done it before in your political career as a politician, you have to get on board and be able to work with each other. We have to be able to shake hands and work towards the greater good of taking care of the issues in this country, taking care of the issues in the local communities, cities, towns, taking care of the issues that you can and fighting for the people for which you are working for. And as I've said in the past, if you don't understand, you work for the people. You are a public servant. When you take on a job as a politician, you become a public servant. You work for the people. The people don't work for you. Okay? That must be understood. That must be remembered at all times. The people don't work for you. You work for the people. Do the job of the people. And get off of this train and this boat of disliking this side disliking that side. It's not even about that. It's about doing a job. When you start focusing on this side and that side and focus on who you supposed to be representing, then that's it. Because at this point, when I look at our government, it's not even, and I'm talking looking from the local down, local going up. Because you got to start in your own backyard, which is local. A lot of people look to the House or the presidency, or they look at the president and forget the president is just mere spokesperson. The House is the one who's running it. Okay? So they forget. The president can put forward, make effort, put something in writing and say, hey, I want to do this. But he has to get approval. He got to get approval first. It just don't go down like that. So understand that. That the president has to get approval from the House. He just can't just make up anything and it's going to fly. It never worked like that, and it ain't. But what seems to be going on more so than ever in the last 20 years, that it seems that, but it don't seem that, it really is, that there's too much fighting amongst a bunch of old politicians in Washington, D.C. Instead of, they have lost sight of their whole job. They lost sight of it, what it really is supposed to be about. They lost sight of what their job's supposed to be about. They don't even talk about the people. They're arguing about, they just don't want to do something because they don't want to do it. So they'll turn down an idea because the Republicans came up with it. Because the Democrats came up. Because you're a leftist, you're a righty. Look, man, do your job. And that goes for local government as well. Do your damn job. Do your job. When each and every one of you politicians, right? When each and every one of you politicians go and you patronize a business, whether that a restaurant, however you're shopping, you become a customer. Whatever you're shopping for, you want what you want, right? You want someone to wait on you so you can get in and get out, right? You want someone to be there to handle whatever you're there for. So if you're there to eat dinner, breakfast, lunch, you want someone to be there to serve you, to fix your food and serve you that food, right? Because then there'll be no reason for you to be going out to eat, right? If there's no one there to handle that for you, there's no need for you to go there, right? So if you guys are not going to do your job, what need do we have of you? One thing that I know that American people don't want to hear, us taxpaying American people don't want to hear, is you guys keep arguing about things and not coming to no type of resolution at all. Okay? Yeah, it's been, like I've said before, it's time for fresh minds all across the board. Even when you read and look at local governments and cities and around these states and towns, you know, you hear of these different issues. It's time, and you look around and you see who are the people running the local governments in these towns, in these cities, in these states. And then if you get to tap into them and listen to them, you see how so fucking out of touch they are. I don't even know what motivates them. You know, especially where I reside at, I have a clue, you know. But it's time for some fresh minds, some young, eager beavers who's ready to do the right thing and see their city, their state, their country move in a good direction. And starting with education and everything that's needed with education. And I've spoke on that, and I ain't going to talk about that any longer or anymore because I've spoken on it, and you can go back in my archives and look. Spoke on local issues where I reside, issues around the country, just everything from teachers' pay to the academics, the whole learning. They need to tear that whole thing down and restructure how they're teaching our children. They need to get up to speed and up to date of what's going on in the world right now and what's needed, you know. And our kids should be learning from that. We should learn about real estate. We should be learning more about banking systems, more hands-on IT, engineering, aviation, well, because if you've been hearing about, they've been short on pilots and things of that nature. There's things that, you know, the tech industry, period. Like, we should be updating the education system, you know, and we got too much division with these secondary type of schooling and everything like that. Like, you got public school and charter school and this one and that one. It's beyond that. You know, we need to all get on the same page at this time. We need to all get on the same page, and we need to be teaching our children from the same book, which is an updated version of what's going on in the world right now. But that's my time, folks. I just want to tap in. I haven't spoken in a while. You know, I jump on here every now and then when I feel the need. You know, when I feel like, you know, I need to speak on something. Because sometimes everything don't need to be spoken about. And I've spoke about so many issues. I got so many different topics. You can just go through my archives. So make sure you tell a friend of Space Invaders TV. I will be doing something in the next few months. I know how a lot of people were liking when I would do the historical, when I would do little documentaries on historic sites. I have another great one coming up. I got another great one coming up, and so you guys stay tuned for that. It's gonna be very enlightening. But yeah, that's my time, folks. This is Space Invaders TV. Talk to you next time.